Okay, well, Fred, why don't you start our meeting?
Okay, like always, you can read something you've written or something that you like. And as Gina said, you can discuss why you chose that poem, what you like about it the best. And we will talk about what we liked about it the best, and what that does for you, or take talk about the poem that you chose and discuss maybe it's anything, its structure, its form, or its ideas, or a line that really hits you the most and stays with you after you read it. And I guess I'll start. I drank my coffee late today, and so I guess that was on my mind, and I started writing about coffee. Dark coffee, warm joy, grounded beans mixed with clear water, the act of lifting a cup to my lips, sip after sip, traveling through me, creating a dimension unseen, reforming my awareness, nourishing my senses, creating a dimension again and again, taking possession of me, small particles within liquid on their way to become solid mountains singing within me.
I like that last line.
I
Yeah.
love that. So
Now, when you just wrote this, Fred.
Well, excuse me?
You just wrote this, right?
Yes, today.
Are you gonna change anything, do you think?
Yeah, I'll probably go back and see if there's some things that can be changed or shortened, or maybe some more imagery that might create a little more tension. I don't know.
Can we comment on it?
Yes, go ahead.
I loved the way that you somehow communicated the moment that your mood shifted because of the coffee. It's like I don't remember the exact words that you used, but when you're really, really tired and you drink something with caffeine in it, all of a sudden there is a different dimension. It's like you feel different. Your mood is different and your attitude is different. Can you read that part of it?
Oh, yes.
The whole thing again, Fred.
Just do the whole thing again.
Okay. Dark coffee, warm joy, grounded beans mixed with clear water, the act of lifting a cup to my lips, sip after sip, traveling through me, creating a dimension unseen, reforming my awareness, nourishing my senses, taking possession of me, small particles within liquid on their way to becoming solid mountains singing within me.
I like this singing. That's really nice.
I wanted to hear the change you were talking about, Jean, and I did notice the kinds of things he was talking about.
Right. Yep. Did you use the word grounded on purpose?
Where did I use that word?
Because the coffee was ground, you mean?
Oh, grounded beans. Yeah.
Because I think the word is ground.
Oh.
Grounded. It's
beans.
like you're being grounded
right.
by drinking it, which is kind of
yeah.
So maybe you could use the word grounded later on in the poem.
Ground.
Because I know sometimes when I'm feeling, it's like I'm feeling wishy-washy or a little bit tired, and then you get that here I am feeling from caffeine, that is a grounding feeling.
Yeah.
That would be a fun thing to put in there. I like that. Thank you. Singing. What was the last line? Singing?
To become liquid within liquid on their way to become solid mountains singing within me.
Singing within you. I like it.
Yeah, then you got really poetic at that last line. Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to get an image. I was trying to get an image away from emotion, or, well, not emotion, but I don't know, something different. Yeah, from what was being said in the rest of the poem,
It's really nice.
but yet still connects to it.
How long did it take you to write it?
Probably 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I rewrote it maybe 10 minutes later to try to tighten it up a bit.
Hey,
This.
Fran. Hey,
Yes.
hey, can you hear me? It's Fran.
Yes.
So, I posted this thing on Facebook the other day and it says, before I had my coffee, I didn't know how awesome I was going to be today. It's like coffee really does that. It gives you this high, but it's a very nice, positive high. So you kind of mentioned that in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love coffee. Thanks.
Hi, nice to have you here, friend. I can't see you. That's why I didn't say anything, but now I see.
Oh, that's okay. I don't know if you all know, but the Annenberg Playhouse, the Wallace, they had an event last week. They had 20 pianos, upright pianos in their parking lot. And what they've done is they've positioned them all over the city. And I was driving by and I found one. So I'm like in this little park where there's one of those pianos. You should go look for them, Jean. You can play. Anyone
Wonderful.
can sit down and play.
Wow.
It's great. It's great fun. Anyway.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thanks for the information. Wow.
So here I am in the park.
There you are. Hi. Hi,
You're drinking my
there
coffee.
there she
my
is.
Coffee.
You've got your coffee.
Got my coffee. Thanks, Fred.
Leaning against a tree. It looks so poetic.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. If I had time, I'd go in front of the piano, but it's a little further away.
So who wants to read next?
I have something I could read since I'm already talking.
Okay.
Go
Is
ahead.
that okay?
Yeah.
So this
Oopsie,
is
I'm out.
something.
It's called Cinquain. It's a
Oh,
form.
Carol.
Fran was going to read, Carol.
Oh no,
I'm
you
sorry.
whoever
Good,
wants
good.
to.
Okay,
Is
go
it
ahead,
okay?
Fran.
Okay, so I'm reading from this book. It's more like prose. It's very short. It's called Zen Flesh, Zen Bones by Paul Reps, R-E-P-S. And it's number 96, and it says drop of water. Zen master named Gisan asked a young student to bring him a pail of water to cool his bath. The student brought the water, and after cooling the bath, threw onto the ground the little that was left over. You dunce, the master scolded him. Why didn't you give the rest of the water to the plants? What right have you to waste even a drop of water in this temple? The young student attained Zen in that instant. He changed his name to Tekusu, which means a drop of water. So he got enlightened.
Wow. If it's that easy, I want to do it too.
Yeah, it's that easy.
I like it.
So I wanted to read something about the environment because there's so much climate change going on, or about, like impeachment because of Cuomo getting, giving up today. But I couldn't find anything, but I did find this. That's the story.
Thank you. So what do you like about it?
I like the fact that I mean, the story, they don't tell you how long the student was sitting before this guy pounced on him with, you dunce. But I like the fact that it was a story of enlightenment. It was uplifting. I like that kind of stuff.
Right. I liked it too because he actually learned something from the moment.
Exactly.
So often you hear stories about people that, in fact, Carol and I were talking about it, people taking information about the pandemic, and they don't use the information. They don't wear a mask, or they wear a mask with their nose hanging out. And it's just nice to hear a story where somebody actually listens and gets the information and changes their life because of it. That's really nice.
Right, but of course you have to realize it's a Zen monastery and they're there with intention and focus. So
Yeah,
they're in the,
supposed to be in the moment. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Carol, you were going to read? Carol?
Carol, it's your
Okay,
turn.
okay. This is a homemade one. It's called A Person of Place. And guess what? There's a show and tell for it too. Can you see this?
Bring it a little bit closer. There's a glare. Okay, is it flowers or leaves?
Let's forget it. That just is part of it because it's why I wrote the poem. That's okay. That's okay. This is called A Person of Place. In one corner on the kitchen counter, up on a short rise, we see a scene in a frame that spans the space. To see it is to be there, walking again those 2 miles home, coming upon a bright shining thing. What can it be? Carefully, quickly, she hurries out, retrieving a car-smashed box. Inside, bright copper curls shout out, "Take me home. Make something of me, heal my smashed self, set me free." If only life were that simple. Arriving home, she places the box with other treasures found and waiting. Time passes and then some more until one day, a catalog comes from Maine. It has a cover of trees turned gold and brown. We see a house the trees surround, and now she knows what to do with that which she found so long ago. Once each day, in a corner of the kitchen on a short rise, we see a scene. When the sun finds the trees gold and brown, the copper shines brightly all around, reminding us of walking home long, long ago. And that's what this is. This is a cover of what's the name of that magazine from Maine? You can't see it.
Oh,
Anyway,
no.
so I made a thing of it in a frame when I used.
Oh, is it called Yankee? Is that Yankee magazine?
No, it's clothes. It's good wool stuff.
Oh,
Oh.
clothes, right.
Oh,
Yeah, clothes. And it's clothes.
Land's End or no?
No, not Land's End. It's older.
LL Bean.
LL Bean. You
I'm
win
a
the
New
prize.
Englander, so I know those things.
It's an LL Bean catalog cover,
Oh.
and I found this smashed up copper Brillo pad or whatever it is, and so I put it on the trees. You can't see it, but anyway. And then later I wrote the poem, A Person of Place, and I have it sitting in my kitchen. And sometimes in the year, the sun is right, it hits that copper and it goes, wow.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So it just came together easily. And I don't love the poem, but it worked for me.
Oh, I liked it. Can you read it again, please?
Yeah, read it
Sure.
again.
A Person of Place. In one corner on the kitchen counter, up on a short rise, we see a scene in a frame that spans a space. To see it is to be there, walking again the 2 miles home, coming upon a bright shining thing. What can it be? Carefully, quickly, she hurries out, retrieving a car-smashed box. Inside, bright copper curls shout out, "Take me home, make something of me, heal my smashed self, set me free." If only life were that simple. Arriving home, she places the box with other treasures found and waiting. Time passes and then some more until one day a catalog comes from Maine. It has a cover of trees turned gold and brown. We see a house the trees surround, and now she knows what to do with that which she found so long ago. Once each day, in a corner of the kitchen on a short rise, we see a scene where the sun finds the trees gold and brown. The copper shines brightly all around, reminding us of walking home long, long ago.
Oh.
Oh, man.
So now that I know about your kitchen, and wow, that really came alive. Wow.
Oh, good. You figured out where it was, right?
Yeah.
It's long enough that there's stuff that the
Wow.
second reading really helps, doesn't it?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
What was the car smashed box?
It was a box of one of those copper scrubber things, you know, like
Oh,
Brillo.
so it was found out in the road.
It
So
was in the middle of the road that was shiny, and I looked at it. I'm not going to leave it there, right?
it was, so you guessed it was smashed by a car. I get it. Yeah.
It was smashed by a car, and I took it home and had a basement in Chicago full of stuff to make stuff out of.
Oh my gosh.
And so I just saved it and saved it. And then I thought, yeah, that's what it is.
So I
Okay.
have a question. Did you rhyme on intentionally? Because you had the golden brown surround and found.
I rhyme wherever it comes naturally for me. I don't, unless I'm doing something that is specific for rhyming, I
Right.
just rhyme when it's easy.
Right. Yeah. I liked it because we'd be going along and all of a sudden I would hear a little rhyme, 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 and then it would disappear. And then it happened again near the end. And you
Yeah.
have the same kind of a sound, the ound.
Yeah, I like to find rhymes. And I think I've noticed in other poets I've read, I do the same thing. They're not have to rhyme every couplet.
Right.
Anyway, thank you for listening.
Oh, I loved it.
I think it's your turn, Jean.
I think it's my turn. So I found the collected poems of Emily Dickinson. My daughter left it here. And so I read through, and of course, she wrote at a time when rhyming was the thing to do for poets. Let me see which one I want to read. These just have numbers, they don't have titles. I'm nobody. Who are you? Are you nobody too? Then there's a pair of us. Don't tell. They'd banish us, you know. How dreary to be somebody. How public. Like a frog to tell your name the livelong day to an admiring bog.
Hmm.
So the reason that I like this poem was I was thinking of her as a poet, and as she grew older, she became more popular. And it sounds like she doesn't like the attention. She doesn't like to be in the public eye and people admiring her and talking about her poetry and all that. So, how public like a frog to tell your name all day long to an admiring bog. So, I'm picturing this frog that's croaking all day long in this kind of marshland,
Mm-hmm.
and that she's comparing herself to being that frog, having to talk about her poetry all day. How dreary to be somebody. And I liked the fact that we got a picture of how she didn't want to be somebody. We all know people that like to talk about what they do,
Mm-hmm.
and I really admire people that do things and they don't like to talk about them. They don't like to be in the center of attention.
Sometimes it seems to me people think she's sad because she lived in a house and didn't go out very much. I think it was her choice. I really do.
Oh, yes, so do I.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
I can hear you.
All right. Does anybody
I have the complete works too, but I think I have a different volume and different people. And also her rhyming is very unusual. Sometimes it's just the vowel in the word that rhymes rather than the ending, like we think of rat and cat and sat.
Right.
It's not that simple. It's more music, more better. You know what I mean.
I do, yeah. Okay, well, Fran, do you have another one that you want to share?
I do, but it's still the Zen type of thing.
That's fine.
Good.
I mean, it's the only book I found to bring along with me today. So
Well,
yeah.
it's very zen seeing you sitting under the tree.
But yeah, here's the tree. Okay, right and wrong. When Banki held his seclusion, weeks of meditation, pupils from many parts of Japan came to attend. During one of these gatherings, a pupil was caught stealing. The matter was reported to Banki with the request that the culprit be expelled. Banki ignored the case. I'm turning the page. Okay. Later, the pupil was caught in a similar act. Again, Banki, he's the teacher, disregarded the matter. This angered the other pupils, who drew up a petition asking for the dismissal of the thief, stating that otherwise they would leave in a body, which meant, of course, they would leave in their body. When Banky had read the petition, he called everyone before him. You know what is right and what is not right. You may go somewhere else to study if you wish, but this poor brother does not even know right from wrong. Who will teach him if I do not? I am going to keep him here, even if all the rest of you leave. A torrent of tears cleansed the face of the brother who had stolen. All desires to steal had vanished.
Wow.
Uh,
I love these things. They're so uplifting. It's like zap.
yeah.
So I like it because it's just one big zap.
Can you read it through again? Because I finally put it together at the end.
Yeah, I just have to find the number again because I closed the book.
Oh,
It was number 45. At least I noticed that. So, oh no, 40. No, it wasn't. I'm looking for it. It'll just take me a second. If not, I won't be able to read it then.
oh, that's okay.
Sorry
You'll
about.
find another one and maybe it'll be better.
Yeah, they're cute, huh? I mean,
They're nice. They're meaningful.
well, they make you think and they make you feel. Here it is, right and wrong. The whole thing.
Yes, please.
Okay, when Banky held his seclusion weeks of meditation, pupils from many parts of Japan came to attend. During one of these gatherings, a pupil was caught stealing. The matter was reported to Banky with the request that the culprit be expelled. Banky ignored the case. Later, the pupil was caught in a similar act. And again, Banky disregarded the matter. This angered the other pupils, who drew up a petition asking for the dismissal of the thief, stating that otherwise they would leave in a body. I guess that meant they would all leave together. I wasn't thinking that through. I thought they meant they would leave it, because when you're meditating, you kind of drop your body. So I wasn't thinking of that. Okay. Yeah, when Banky had read the petition, he called everyone before him. You are wise brothers, he told them. You know what is right and what is not right. You may go somewhere else to study if you wish, but this poor brother does not even know right from wrong. Who will teach him if I do not? I am going to keep him here, even if all the rest of you leave. The torrent of tears cleansed the face of the brother who had stolen. All desire to steal had vanished. Quick and short and concise, isn't it? The writing is very concise.
I really needed that second reading. I didn't get it the first time.
Really? Oh, okay. But
Yeah.
I find one thing unusual where he says, you are all, you know right and what is not right. You may go somewhere else to study if you wish, but this poor brother does not even know right from wrong. And the point, who will teach him if I do not, was very, I don't know, that brings attention to the self. And I don't know, that doesn't seem to go well with the Zen.
Egotistical.
But he is a teacher. He's in the teaching mode. So maybe that's why he felt that way.
I think maybe it's ironic that they all want the thief to be expelled, and he says, you can all go, but I'm keeping him here. So it's like
Yes.
the opposite of what they all asked for in their petition. And I like that, the element of surprise in the poem.
Well, the thing is that that's a wise person. See, he's the teacher, and he's probably sat Zen for many, many years, and he has insight. So that's the wisdom.
Right. I like those poems. Who's the author of the book?
Well, it's called Zen Flesh, Zen Bones, a collection of Zen and pre-Zen writings compiled by Paul, R.E.P.S.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
show you
been
the book.
around, that's been around since the 60s, that
Yeah,
book.
it's a little teeny book. You see it?
I used to have
It
that
was-
book.
Really?
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did.
Fred, you know so many things. You amaze me. Well, we missed your turn. You have another
Oh,
poem?
yeah, I have, I guess it has water imagery, but it's not about water. Swimming in thoughts, the capacity to drown, struggling to remain calm, a dead man's float. A thought is constant. Keep the mind above the surface. Do not go under the sea of old memories. The imperfect tide of wandering and worry, slashing into me as I flail around in the wetness. Finally, with each stroke of the arms and a kick of the legs, making it back to the shore of compassion.
Oh, Fred. I love that. Oh my gosh.
When did you write that, Fred?
Let's see, it's 2:30. I probably wrote that about 1:30.
Oh, come on.
Really?
It's
I
not
wrote
that
that at
easy.
Did
wrote
you
that
write-
at 1:30 and then I rewrote it. I have
You're
this
such a
is the
Zen
second
person.
draft.
Wow.
I thought maybe you wrote that while you stepped away from the camera.
No.
Maybe you should read the before
Can
and the
you-
after.
Can you read it again for us?
Oh.
I'm sorry, but it didn't
Well,
settle in.
before the lines are mixed up and I added just some ideas after. The first draft is kind of a mess. You probably can't see that.
No, we can't.
Yeah, we
mess.
see it.
And then I wrote a second draft it's more uniformed and
That's a good
more,
one.
I moved some lines around and took something out. I think,
Which draft did you read us? The first or the second?
second,
So which one do you want to read now?
the second, because the first is almost the same. It's missing some things. Swimming in thoughts, the capacity to drown, struggling to remain calm, a dead man's float. A thought is constant. Keep the mind above the surface. Do not go under that sea of old memories. The imperfect tide of wondering and worry, slashing into me as I flail around in its wetness. Finally, with each stroke of the arms and kick of the legs, I make it to the shoreline of compassion.
You're talking to me, that sea of old memories. If I could get rid of those, I'd be much happier.
Me too.
So I have a question about when you got to the, what was the last line? You got to where? You got to
To the
shore
shoreline of
of
compassion.
compassion. So you were not being compassionate to yourself? Is that what you were saying? But
Well,
because of your own old memories?
well, the compassion's there, but you don't. If you're drowning in memories and old stuff, you're
Okay,
not treating yourself with compassion.
got it.
Right. Oh my gosh. I love some of the images you use. The dead man's float just hit me because just saying that you were floating, it wasn't enough, but the dead man's float, when you're lost in memories, it does feel like a dying kind of a feeling, it's like you're struggling so much. So I loved those words. And then the sea of old memories and the tide of wonder and worry. Oh my gosh, it's just gorgeous, Fred.
Oh,
You
thanks.
continue to amaze me, really.
I know you're going to make money for the church. You're going to make a chapbook and we're all going to buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really think you should. I think you should. $100 campaign. Why not? Francis sold her book
We'll
to
see.
us, remember?
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
did? Who did she sell them to? Was she published?
Yeah, well, she had several books out, the grandmother stories,
Oh, yeah.
Snaggletooth in Ocean Park, and then the poet S.A. Griffin's press
Oh,
put a huge volume of her work out.
wow. Is that
And
because of,
he still has a lot of her stuff because she kept sending poems out in emails. I have some on my computer still, in my Yahoo mail that she sent out, but she sent him tons of stuff that he never got to use.
Wow.
wow.
I turned
There it
over
all
a whole,
is.
I guess she sent, well, he's holding on to that, I guess, but she also sent it to Elizabeth. And Elizabeth gave me a whole box. She printed out all the poems, and I turned them over for the archives of Beyond Baroque
Huh.
to
Oh,
be put in the archives, and they accepted them. So, and there was someone in charge of straightening out all the archives, and hopefully they can be found.
I'm sure they can.
It was over 100 poems that Elizabeth printed out from her emails.
She was prolific, Franci, huh?
Yeah,
She was probably classy too, because that instructor I had at Barnes and Noble, Robertson, he seemed to really respect her when he called on her and made comments on her
yeah,
poetry.
yeah. We just read a poem online yesterday. I was with my friend, and he found a poem by Bukowski talking about his relation. He had a relationship with Franci. They had a daughter together,
Huh.
Oh,
and
oh,
Would you
Marina.
find that sometime and share it?
yeah.
He looked for it again last night, and he couldn't find it.
Oh, too bad.
It's a shame. He might be able to find it again, but it wasn't. I don't know what book it's in, but he's written a number of poems about her. She finally left him because he was drinking just too heavily.
Who was
She left her whole family in Michigan, left 2 daughters behind to
Really?
meet up with him.
Wow.
She
She
gave
had-
up her family life to be a poet.
She had another family. She had 2 daughters.
Yeah,
Wow, I didn't know that.
late in life, she made a connection with them. One she became much closer with. I think she was a sheik, and I forget now. I know one she became very close to again and late in life, and of course she was close to Marina and Marina's and her grandson. She has,
If we went online, would we find something about her online?
um,
Did she have a last name, or did she just go by Franci?
well, her whole name is Frances Dean Smith, and
Okay.
she just went with Franci with a Y.
Yeah, it was CEYE. Was that what it
Yeah,
was?
CE. Hold it. Let me get a book.
FRANCEYE.
And then she capitalized the E so that the I was empty.
Yeah, it's FRANC, capital E, Y, capital E. That's how
Oh.
she spelled her name.
What
Oh.
year do you think she left us? Do you recall what year that was?
Oh, I don't know.
While now.
And what did you say her real name was? Frances
Frances Dean Smith.
Dean Smith.
Yeah, she was part of the early days of Beyond Baroque with John Harris and
Oh,
Getty, wasn't he there?
no. This is
No.
LA, not San Francisco.
No, I know, but I thought he was there first.
No,
Okay.
I'm trying to think of the other guy, but anyway, they were in the first free Wednesday night poetry groups. And that it's been going on all these years, Wednesday night.
Oh,
where?
Poetry.
Beyond Baroque?
So yeah, she was pretty amazing.
I have this instructor I had at Iowa that week-long class about forms of poetry. He really loved Elizabeth Bishop. So naturally, I went out and bought the complete poems. And here's a little one. It's called Song. Summer is over upon the sea, the pleasure yacht, the social being that danced on the endless polished floor, stepped and sidestepped like Fred Astaire, is gone, docked somewhere ashore. The friends have left, the sea is bare, that was strewn with floating fresh green weeds. Only the rusty-sided freighters go past the moon's marketless craters, and the stars are the only ships of pleasure.
Oh. Could you read that again?
Yep, it went by really fast.
Really fast.
Now it's going to be so slow. This is called Song. Summer is over upon the sea, the pleasure yacht, the social being that danced on the endless polished floor, stepped and sidestepped like Fred Astaire, is gone, docked somewhere ashore. The friends have left, the sea is bare, that was strewn with floating fresh green weeds. Only the rusty-sided freighters go past.
Oh, she froze.
She'll agree.
She wrote a lot of poems. I got a whole big fat book
Yeah,
here.
Carol, you froze for a minute. Can you have to start all over?
Should I throw this off the balcony?
No,
No.
no.
Okay,
We heard the part about the shore.
It was probably the last line.
Oh, this is in two paragraphs. The second paragraph begins, the friends have left, the sea is bare. That was strewn with floating fresh green weeds. Only the rusty-sided freighters go past the moon's marketless craters, and the stars are the only ships of pleasure. She writes a lot of longer things, and she writes sestinas and forms that, you know, people don't use anymore. And she's got a lot of stuff. And this guy thought she was the best.
Huh.
Oh, wow.
She's dead. Anyway, she wrote these from 27
dead.
to 79.
Oh, what's her name again?
Elizabeth Bishop.
Oh, yes.
I think she's
yes.
pretty famous. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. She either was married or she had an affair with Robert Lowe.
That may be. She also had a lesbian relationship towards the end.
Who's Robert Lowe?
He's a poet from the Lowe family of New England. He's famous, and he was a manic depressant, and he would lose it. He was a great poet. He started, you know, writing in rhyme and meter and discipline, and then during the 60s he came out with a book, and everything changed. He started writing more in free form, and then he wore a book of anti-war poems, I think, or one part of that book was anti-war, but people would have I read his biography, they all had stories of when he completely lost it and he had no touch with reality. One poet woke up one morning and found him sleeping out on his front lawn, and he was over a couple of 100 miles away from where he lived.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
And another time he was in a famous writing retreat. There's a famous place where writers were able to get a grant and go, and he convinced everyone that one of them was an informant for the FBI. He had them so convinced they all started going home, or they were just, you know, torn apart, and no one realized he was already going into deep depression.
Wow.
You know, you don't realize it until it's too late.
Yeah.
Fred, do you have your 5 greatest poets or anything like that? Who do you go to when you need to read a poem?
I've got so much poetry, you know, that I grab some LA poets, you know, I go back to Whitman once in a while, and
I've got one.
The surrealists and the French poets. I got 2 anthologies of French poetry and surrealist poetry.
They're translated.
Yeah, they're translated.
We thought, oh no, he speaks French too.
So
I love Robert Frost.
I do too.
Yeah.
The road not taken, the path not taken, the road not taken. Yeah.
Even the one about that scary woodcutter guy, it's not quite so romantic as the road not taken. You know, the woodcutter's family or something like that.
I don't
Anyway.
Oh,
remembering that.
yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well,
It's longer and it's a kind of a tragic story. So he didn't always write about blueberries and roads and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if nobody else has another poem, I'm going to read a
Sure.
one from
Go
me,
ahead.
and then I'll need to stop pretty soon. This is called Success is Counted Sweetest. Success is counted sweetest by those who never succeed. To comprehend a nectar requires the sorest need. Not one of all the purple host who took the flag today can tell the definition so clear of victory as he defeated dying on whose forbidden ear the distant strains of triumph break, agonized and clear. So this was a real revelation to me. The reason I picked it, well, I was, reading through these Emily Dickinson poems, and she's talking about the fact that the people who know what success is are the ones who fail because they want it so badly. And the people who succeed don't necessarily know how sweet it is.
Hmm.
And I think that's really true because you hear actors who get an award and they take it home and put it in a closet, and then they just go on to the next thing. But the people who don't get the award, they agonize over it. I'm going to just read it one more time because I really like it.
Yeah.
Success is counted sweetest by those who never succeed. To comprehend a nectar requires the sorest need. Not one of all the purple host who took the flag today can tell the definition so clear of victory as he, defeated, dying, on whose forbidden ear the distant strains of triumph break, agonized and clear. I was thinking about, the Olympics and a race when we've seen runners who fall, and you can just imagine them lying on the track and seeing the winner cross the finish line,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Emily Dickinson.
Lovely. Thank you for her.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to go. Is this a good time to stop?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
spot
good.
on.
And thank you, everybody.
Lovely.
Yeah,
Thank
that
you.
was wonderful.
Thank you very
Thank
much,
you.
Fred. Keep
It was
writing.
great.
Okay.
Love it.